Well, hello everyone. Welcome to GameHounds. Nick just asked me, how do we do this?
Yeah, what? I feel like I don't. I feel like I've forgotten some
It's
things.
it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because what you only missed 1 week though. That's not that bad,
Well, we took 2 weeks off. Then we did a week. Then I skipped another week.
right? But I
So
soloed it. Did you see me solo? I
uh,
went
I
solo.
I didn't see you doing it. I was doing other stuff. But I heard it was good.
It what according to reports, it wasn't bad. It
Hmm
was it was something. It,
It was
it
it was
wasn't as bad as I thought it was
acceptable.
going to be. It was acceptable. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
How are you?
I am good.
How
Yes.
was Los Angeles, and why were you there, and what did you do?
It was very good. So like we first Rachel went down like on Sunday to San
Mhm,
Diego because she has a friend there. And then I flew down to San Diego on Wednesday
mhm.
just because she has more PTO than me. The champion.
I
You championed
yeah,
it.
Chunderbox says, "Like the champion she was." Oh, man, that, like I'm starting to get humbled now by
Hey, so
Nick.
soloing is hard.
Apparently, we don't need you.
No, it was never about me. It was always about them.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Your
Look at
your
that. I bring the cat ass.
cat butt.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're listening on the podcast, Nick's cats are just, of course, doing what they do every episode. If you have not
Yep.
seen Nick's
Here.
cats,
Let me
you
let me
should go on to YouTube or to Twitch
come
and
here.
to find them.
I'm gonna give you a little bed to lie on. How about
There
that?
you go.
There you go.
There we go. So we can have more Jupiter all the time.
Um,
So
so yeah,
she
so
went down
I
on Saturday, on Sunday, and then
yeah,
you followed. Was it
I
Los
followed
Angeles or San Diego that you went down to?
both.
Okay.
So we went to San Diego because that's where her friend is, and we
Mhm.
did a taco crawl around San Diego, which was really good, really filling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we went up to LA to see Ryan because
Oh,
I've
that's
never
right.
met him in person.
That's right. You got to meet Ryan. Did you
Yeah,
tell him I still hate him?
no,
Okay. Sorry. I wish you
but
had.
it was
I'd
really
have paid you 50
cool.
bucks to do that.
No, I would not have done that.
For 50
His
bucks?
yes,
100 bucks?
maybe.
200 bucks?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, there we go. We all know what you are. We just had to find your price.
Look, I'm not saying I hate him. I really like him. I
I
love
know
him.
you really like him. You
I
went
think
all the way
he's
down to Los
great.
Angeles to meet him, but I
Yeah,
can't stand him.
sure.
Just to fill you in,
So this
Ryan,
is this is all like this is a grudge. This is like a
this is a grudge.
bitter, eating grudge that you've held for the past decade plus.
Yeah, yeah. I was playing Borderlands, and Nick, and this is was it original Borderlands? No, it was Borderlands
Was
2.
it two? It
I think
might
it
have
was
been
2.
two.
I think it was 2. I was playing Borderlands 2, and Nick and was it? Yeah, it was M Hawk, and I think it was also you, maybe?
Yeah, I
No,
was playing.
you were the playing, but Ryan, who is one of our friends at the time on uh I guess it was Xbox, uh invited himself into my
No, we invited him in.
we invited him in.
Yeah.
But he proceeded to complete all of my missions. Which of course is great for him to because he'd already gone through the story. I had not. So he was just completing all my missions, which sucked because of course I missed out big sections of the story because he was fucking completing my missions.
I
And
don't
he didn't understand how that wasn't okay to like forward the story without me being privy to the story.
I don't think you missed as much as you think you did.
Probably not, but it's the principle. You don't go into somebody else's story-based game for multiplayer and then just forward the story randomly.
And
Maybe I
see,
missed
I
something, maybe I
I
didn't.
think it was just all a big misunderstanding because he thought, hey, we're here to do the missions. Like he's like, yeah, this is I'm helping them get through it.
Right. And that's fine. But I said, stop completing my missions. And A, he wouldn't. And B, he wouldn't apologize for like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you hadn't done the story yet. That's
No,
all it took.
that doesn't
That's
sound like
all it
him.
took. No, that's all it took.
I
And
think he did.
no, listen, I understand mistakes. He wouldn't stop. He just wouldn't stop doing it when I would say, please stop. So after that, it was like, fuck you, Ryan.
Hmm.
I get it. You're not listening to me and you don't care, but fuck you. And kicked him out of my game. And that was the last time I played with Ryan. And I've hated him ever since.
I feel like in the years since the Borderlands incident, we shall call it.
The Borderlands incident.
The Borderlands incident. No, actually, we'll just call it the Border incident because that sounds way worse.
No,
No, the incident at the border.
Yeah.
I think it has grown in scope and disaster in memory.
I don't
But
listen. I don't cut people off for just nothing. Certainly, I understand mistakes. Lord knows I've made enough of them. It's I made a mistake and I kept making it when I knew it was a mistake. And I would not apologize. In fact, I told you you were wrong for feeling that way. And it's like, I don't need to be gaslighted. I have a whole college years of being gaslighted by men. I'm not going to be gaslighted by somebody on my Xbox. And that's what he did. And that's why I don't talk to him. Now,
okay.
you have to remember, Ryan was all of what, 19 back then?
Probably, maybe something
Yeah,
like that.
he was a teenager.
Mhm.
But even so, the day he apologizes for trying to gaslight me and trying to finish my game for me and not listening is the day that I will be friends with him.
Oh,
But
well, the moment you ever speak to him again, he would totally apologize. He'd be
he has
like,
to find me.
like, okay, this is
I
weird.
am not going to crawl back to him for an
Okay.
apology.
Anyways, the point is, I met him for the first time. We
Right.
hung out a lot. Because he works at Disneyland and he has like a lot of, they get passes.
Right.
He was able to get us in for free and get us a whole bunch of like lightning ride passes.
Oh, nice.
So that we basically got a all expense paid VIP tour because he knew all the behind the scenes stuff. So he's like, okay, this ride has two paths. There's a thing broken on this path, so we're gonna go down this path. So it's like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, the insider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I still have a Disneyland Silver Pass. I know where it is. But
Is that still a valid thing?
well, that's what I don't know. Because a little bit of like Kevin trivia. Kevin worked for Lucas for 26, 27 years. So he hit his 25-year anniversary with the company just as it was being purchased by Disney.
Mm.
So hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, now you can see both cats. You've got Jupiter on the bed and Shepard investigating our stack of presents. Hey, wait, no, don't be crawling on those.
All right. So I'm back. So he hit his 25-year anniversary like within a month or two. Sorry about that. After this
Disney
company was
Lucas.
bought by Disney. The conditions of the purchase by Disney is that all of your years with Lucas were grandfathered into Disney immediately. So he got credit for being a 25-year veteran of Disney on day one of him working for Disney. So that entitled us to a bunch of swag, including, well, first off, we got the Silver Pass, which allows us and 6 other people to go to Disney for free. Plus, it gives us free rooms at Disneyland resorts.
Hmm.
We never used it, and I know where the card is, but I don't know if it's valid now that he's no longer with Disney or that he's no longer alive. I don't know if it passes
Or that
on.
like Disney and specifically the Disney parks have gone through a lot of redoing their whole like price structure, their whole acceptance structure.
Right. And I don't know if that means that because he was 20, got the silver pass before the whole all that other structuring happens, if that grandfathers us into the old or the new. I don't know anything about that. But the other thing, and why I had to run away, is that when you hit 25 years with Lucas, you got a statue. That's a standard within an industry. You get a statue. Skywalker, 25 years, you got a golden C3PO. Kevin, for his 25-year anniversary, didn't get a C3PO and has pissed him off to no end.
Did he get a BB-8? Oh,
he got a Tinkerbell. He works for Lucas for 25 years, and he gets a fucking Tinkerbell.
25 years with the Walt Disney Company.
Right, because even though he didn't work at the Walt Disney Company, this made him so angry. I mean, white hot heat of 1,000 suns that he didn't get the golden C3PO. He got a fucking golden Tinkerbell.
I'm surprised he didn't just melt it down.
He wouldn't do that, but he was angry.
No, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna find a C3PO mold, melt down this fairy, and make one myself.
Yeah, but it still says Walt Disney Company.
That's okay. Look, Star Wars is owned by Disney now. That's a thing.
I know, but still, it's like he didn't work for Disney. Disney wasn't what he was loyal to. He was loyal to Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, that's Kevin's like big thing that upset him the most. In fact, it's on my mantle, but it's stuffed in the back behind a bunch of other stuff because every time he looked at it, he got angry.
Okay, I have found a question and answer plan. There are now 4 Walt Disney World annual pass types, and it seems if the new pass most compatible to your current Disney Silver Pass is the Disney Pirate Pass. That's exclusive for Florida, but I don't know. It's probably not exclusive. The Silver Pass probably isn't exclusive to Florida. You would probably have to check the blockout dates for Pirate Pass because there are a few more dates blocked out than the Silver Pass. So it sounds like from Silver to Pirate is a bit of a downgrade. There's also the Sorcerer Pass.
Well, I don't know. Is that for 25-year?
Well, it sounds like the Silver Pass is no longer a thing.
Right.
There are now multiple different passes.
Right, but the Silver Pass is something that you purchase, or is it something that you were granted for? Because it may be that they don't give out the Silver Pass for 25 years. They give out some other pass that's not the Pirate Pass.
It may be both.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I don't know if that's in perpetuity or only for as long as you work for Disney.
Yeah. Like you may have gotten just they gave you a season pass, basically.
Right. But does that in perpetuity, and is it to the family or what is it? Yeah, anyway, but that's my Disney story. The year that he got that pass was the year I was working for JetBlue and we could fly anywhere. And it occurred to us that it'd actually be cheaper for us to fly to Florida and just stay in Walt Disney resorts than it would, and then rent out our house. We would probably make money.
Wow.
We could have done that, but we didn't. Just clap your hands and believe. No. No, Kevin did not believe.
Well, speaking of clapping your hands and believing, the other thing we did in LA is we went to the Magic Castle.
Yes, the dinner place for magicians, right?
Not the Disney Magic Castle. This is like an exclusive magician castle.
How now did you get I don't think anyone can get in. You have to have you have to be a
So
magician.
you can pay. You can pay
Oh,
for
okay.
membership. While we were waiting in line, one of the guys was complaining that it's like, oh yeah, I used to be a member, but then it got too expensive, so I didn't pay like the annual due, and it expired. And now if I want to become a member again, I've got to pay the sign up fee again. So I don't want to do that. But Rachel's dad knows one of the people there, and so
Mhm.
that's how we got the passes.
Nice.
But it's really cool. You have to dress up like it's formal wear.
Mhm.
Um, and then you enter this house, and it's just kind of like magic going on all around you. There's like let's say 7 different rooms, and each room kind of has a different show going on at different times. So you can kind of stagger it where, oh, there's something going on here at 7:45. That's about half an hour. And then there's something going on in another room at 8:30. So you've got like a nice 15 minutes in between, and another thing going on here at like 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
And so the layout is a little confusing, but once we figured it out, we were like, oh, let's go in here and watch this show. Let's go watch this show. Let's go watch this show. And it's really small rooms. So I actually got called up to participate in one of the events.
Really?
Mhm. And then Ryan got called up to participate in one, but then for the last thing of the night, the guy was like, okay, call someone on your phones and we'll have them involved. So he called up one of his friends, and she was able to like, he's over the phone, the magician is holding his phone. It's like, okay, pick a card. And over the phone, she picks a card. And he's like, now I'm gonna open this packet and find it.
Nice.
And that was really, yeah, that was cool. The whole
Very,
thing
very cool.
was a really cool experience.
That's I've always wanted to go to the Magic Castle, so that's kind of cool that
Okay.
I've never known anybody that has gotten in.
Well, next time
Next
we'll
time.
invite you.
Yeah, as
We
long as Ryan's
originally
not there.
whatever. No, that's how we'll bring you together. We will bring you together and then shove both of you in a tiny phone booth and lock the door until you make up.
And I'll make him disappear.
Um, but wait, Magic Castle Experience, Lord of Illusions? Was it? Did they go to the Magic Castle in Lord of Illusions?
Baby.
Anyways, wait, what was the other free stuff that I got? Oh,
Nick, by the
yes,
way,
yeah, the
Chaos
Disney.
says, I'm
No,
pretty
oh,
sure Xbox voice chat was designed to gaslight people. Almost certain if it's in the design doc. LOL.
yeah. So I will specify. We got the Disney stuff for free, which is really cool because Ren works there. Magic Castle was not free.
Mhm.
We had to pay for that. I paid for all of that because Rachel paid for a bunch of other stuff on the trip. Um, you just need the connection in order to
Right.
earn the privilege of paying
Paying.
several $100.
Yep.
So
It's an exclusive club, a very
yes,
exclusive club. I don't know anyone who has been able to get in, so that's kind of neat.
but there we go. Next time. Oh yeah,
Next
I was gonna say we originally had a pass for 6 people because Rachel's friends were going to join us. But then when we called to actually make the reservations, and we called like a month in advance,
Mhm.
everything was full except for dinner at 9:45 and show at 11:30.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. That's
And
my
s-
kind of
a-
towers.
and so her friends were like, "Ooh, actually, that's too late for us."
Fuck, you
So
should have called me. I would have gone down there for that night. I'd
okay,
absolutely done that.
next time we're in LA, we'll let you know.
Right. So, what have you played anything? Actually, it's been 2 weeks, so you probably have played something, right?
I've played some stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. Remember when I was talking about how Need for Speed Unbound came out and was actually really good? A
Mhm.
surprisingly good Need for Speed game. It's a really good game, but it's also an open world racing game, and I genuinely don't like those just on
Mhm.
principle. Like the racing is fun, when you're in an actual race, the game does a really good job putting like enough visual waypoints on the track so that you don't take a wrong turn in the open world.
Right.
But once you get out of a race, you're in the open world. And the way the game is structured is, you do a race, you get heat. And after the race, that heat on you remains. And that's the level of attraction the cops have to you. So if you get enough heat from a race, then when the race ends, you're on the run from the cops. But all of a sudden, those waypoints aren't there. So you're driving through this open world that you're unfamiliar with. And I genuinely just do not like racing in an open world. I
Mhm.
think it is just a fundamentally flawed combination of genres. It's oil and water.
Right.
So playing this one, I was like, this is really good, but it's also open world. You know
That's
what
why
was
I
a
didn't like, what was the one? Was it Sunset Overdrive?
that wasn't a racing game.
What was one of the Need for Speeds that
Oh,
it
there's
was
a lot.
open world?
Need for Speed, like all the past ones, Need for Speed Rivals,
It was previous to Rivals, but
Need
I
for Speed
remember like they
Payback.
had like one open world that came out. It's like I freaking hate open world
Was
because I
it
would
Burnout Paradise?
might have been Burnout Paradise. You know what his picture was? Burnout Paradise. Yeah, I hated that. I hated the open world.
Yeah, it just changes the pace of it, changes the flow of it.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I have Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remastered on my PlayStation.
Mhm.
And that was the last Need for Speed game. Well, I guess second to last Need for Speed game that was on tracks, that wasn't open world.
Right.
And that was the first one made by Criterion, the Burnout guys.
Right.
So I went back to it. Something must have happened, and it actually turns out really well. Where the progress that I had on um, that I had made on PlayStation somehow got like erased with an update, so that I kind of had to start over again. But that's good because that meant I could compare Need for Speed Unbound to Hot Pursuit Remastered from the
Mhm.
beginning. And from the beginning, when I played Hot Pursuit, I get to a corner and I just like the muscle memory takes over. I enter a drift and I drift around this corner and oh no, there's a car in my way. So I angle it a little bit and I go around the car. Oh, there's another car on the way. Tighten the angle and just that feeling of drifting around a corner, then going weaving around traffic mid drift, the like first or second race, and it was like I'm home.
Mhm.
That feeling of oh this is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
The muscle memory that just sits deep in the back of my mind that like I'm struggling with, even with Need for Speed Unbound, that felt really good. It didn't feel the exact same. It didn't feel perfect. And so the moment I came back to this, I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. I I found you.
I've missed you so much, baby.
Mm-hmm. And so before I left on the trip, I was playing a whole bunch of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered.
Cool.
And
um,
what's interesting too, comparing them, is Unbound is really, really hard. Like I was playing it on the normal difficulty, and on that difficulty, like if you get in a crash, that's it. Even if you don't get in a crash, the way the AI works is if you drive okay, mid race, you'll be in like fifth out of eighth with no hope of making those places back. And like that's rough. It's rough to play this race and feel like, hey, I'm taking these corners almost perfectly. I'm doing really well, and I'm in fifth with no hope of catching up. And
mhm.
it just feels like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
It
Because
feels punitive, like it's
yes,
punishing you for playing the game. I
because the
hate racing games that are like
the
that.
way the game is structured too is you have to earn money and then spend money to enter these races and then get in a high place so that you can make money back. So if you like if you fail to get into like the top 3 and make a profit, you'll lose money and have to like go grind out smaller races. And I thought that sucks.
Yeah.
Hot Pursuit Remastered. I don't want to say it's easy, but like the way the AI works is it's a game not built to like be a really difficult sim racing game. It's a game that's built to just feel cool.
Mhm.
And so what that means is if you get in a crash, like the AI in front of you is then slowed down a little bit to give you a chance to catch up. When you're behind a player, the slipstream gives you a boost that's almost akin to hitting the actual boost. So if you're behind, like just the nature of how the slipstream works, you have an advantage over everyone else, at
Mhm.
least everyone else in front of you, because you're able to catch up to them. Um, when you get into the AI seems to work on like this, like I said, cool mode, where you'll like race neck and neck between it's like you and this other guy, you and this other guy, and you're fighting up until the last half mile. And as long as you don't fuck up that last half mile, you'll pull ahead and eke out a victory. And it's like, yes, that's cool.
Right.
And the
Feel
game is
like it, and that's the wise way to make the AI in racing games, is not to brutally punish you for fucking up. It's to have that AI that's constantly at your heels so you never feel like you're failing, but you always are pushing yourself just a little bit harder, keeping it just a little tighter every time.
yeah. And like it's not an easy game. Some of the It's not easy. It's just it's designed to make you feel cool.
Right. It's
And
fun.
it just
It's
feels like
designed for fun.
yeah, yes, it's a fundamentally different design philosophy than what I think even the newer Need for Speed games are. Even Unbound, which feels in a lot of ways like it goes back to the arcade roots of Need for Speed, even that one is like, hey, we want to challenge you. We want this to be like a tactical kind of arcade racing game. But it's like, no, I want to just fling cars across the road and smash them into each other. I want to drop spikes behind me and I want to shoot off EMPs and just like I want to get little micro machines and hot toys and just boo 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 boo
Right.
smash them into each other. And that's what Hot Pursuit Remastered is.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, and I'm glad that you rediscovered it.
Yeah.
Any other games you played?
Yes, last night. So all through the vacation, I was playing Marvel Snap because it was on the phone, and Marvel Snap continues to be a fantastic game and is like slowly working its way higher up my top 10 list. Um, I think, I think right now it sits at third place, just behind like Elden Ring and Pillars of Eternity.
Wow.
Um, but that made me want to try out another deck-based game. So I checked out Slay the Spire, which is a deck building roguelike, which are normally two of the genres I want to stay away from the most. But I had heard that Slay the Spire is like one of the best of this genre. And I still didn't like it.
Really?
I didn't like it specifically because it feels like the way the actual rounds work are punishing and remove the possibility for a lot of tactical thinking. So, the way the game works, you have a deck. The deck is like, I don't know, it keeps growing. It grows as you play. I don't know if there's really a limit to it. It's just as you go through the roguelike adventure, you add cards to the deck. So it keeps growing and growing and growing. You have like your deck that you pull from, and every round you pull 5 cards. Those cards you then have to use. They may be defense cards, they may be attack cards, they may be some sort of skill card, they may be punishment. Let's say you get like dazed or wounded. A daze or wound will appear as a card that you can't play, so it just kind of takes up space in your deck. Then, when you're done, all of those cards, whether or not you have played them or not, go into the discard pile, and you take 5 new ones. So, no matter what you draw gets discarded at the end of the round. What makes this really, really frustrating is that, let's say, when you look at the enemies, you can see what they're going to do. so you can prepare for them. Like if they're going to attack, you know, hey, I should defend. If you see they're gonna buff themselves or put a status effect on you, this is your chance to attack. Well, if you see the enemy is going to attack you, let's say you draw a bunch of cards and you have one defend and four block, one defend and four attack. It's like, well, this isn't what I want. Like, I need defense cards. I'm going to get attack and hurt, and because this is a roguelike, that damage is going to carry over to the next battle and really screw me in the future. So I guess I'll do my one block. I'll attack as much as I can, but then okay, I'm just going to get hit for a lot of damage. Next turn, the enemy is going to buff themselves, and I pull 5 defense cards. It's like, well, fuck. I needed this last round. Like,
Mhm.
where were these shields the last round?
Right.
And that doesn't happen all the time, but that happens enough where it feels like I'm pulling the wrong cards at the wrong time
Mhm.
because everything gets discarded. And uh, it's just frustrating to feel like you can get all the stuff in your deck and you can try to build it out and be tactical and strategic about trying to play the odds, but at a certain point it's like playing poker or blackjack. You're just at the mercy of the cards you draw, and no amount of tactical thinking is going to like beat that. At a certain point, you're just playing the odds. You know, it's blackjack. Hey, you should stand on 17 because that's the best.
Right.
It doesn't work every time. It's just you're playing the odds. And that's not fun. I don't think that makes for a fun strategy or tactics game because I think the joy for me at least in like a tactics or strategy game is knowing I can win. I can get a victory out of this. I just have to figure out how. It's a puzzle. And this feels less like a puzzle and more like a poker game.
AC Ray says the most important upgrade is often to remove cards from the deck. If you've added a fancy offense defense card and didn't remove a standard one, then you're playing wrong.
Hmm.
And Chaos says try across the obelisk, or if you want something smaller, pirate outlaws. I feel like they do Slay the Spire formula better.
Okay, I'll have to
I
remember
lost
those.
25 hours in 2 days on Across the Obelisk. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm going to try to write across the obelisk with my left hand because my right hand is holding a cat.
And he said, "You really dislike RNG type games." And Chunderbox asked, "Have you tried games like Erratus Lord of the Dead, Nick?"
No, I've not heard of that.
Okay, so there's 2 of them for you to look up and possibly
Yeah.
do.
Okay, pirate
Uh, Pirate
outlaws,
Outlaws, Across the Obelisk, and Obelisk, I guess it is, and
piratus
Erratus Lord of the Dead.
of the dead. Okay, because yeah, I'm loving the bloody hell out of Marvel Snap, and part of that I think is because it's not a roguelike. You know,
Mhm,
the each round is a round is a round. Like that's it.
mhm,
And there are random elements to that, but it's like, hey, if I lose this round, I lose like standing in the skill ranking, which doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Whatever. So it's the randomness adds an element of fun to it.
mhm.
And because like I'm not what I don't have a negative effect that carries over to the next round, it doesn't feel punishing. If I lose, it's like, ah, dang, on to the next round.
Right.
But then
So
there are also some roguelikes that I loved. I think Returnal was like the best game of 2020 when it came out. And that's like a pure action roguelike. So yeah, I don't know. I'll try these other ones.
yeah. Um, Anything else?
I think that no. Okay. I haven't played this, but I have been watching a whole lot of this game. Why does this button not work? Oh, there we go. I have been watching a whole lot of this game called Hellish Quart, which is a like complicated, very technical um sword fighting game.
Mhm.
And it's just really cool to watch because there's not really any life bars. It's just how do you block and do you get a good hit in? And that's it. Let's see. We'll have to wait for another sh- round to pop up. But there's a whole bunch of different sword fighters. Like someone's got a two-handed sword, someone's got a fencer. There's like someone playing a drunken priest, and each of them like move differently.
Mhm.
And it looks very very technical. Like there are different stance changes. There are different like you change the stance, and that affects how you go, how you your reach. Some of the guys have sabers that they swing around a lot, and that allows them to block a lot. So it's like, oh, they don't have a long range, but they can block a lot. And so if they get in close, they slash and they kill you in one hit. Whereas like the fencer tries to get distance and tries to get in there from afar. And it's a very niche game, but there's a number of like tournaments on YouTube that just like I think they were held of a Discord or something of
Mhm.
just a bunch of people getting in there having a tournament, and it's just really really fun to watch. So I've watched several hours worth of Hellish Court tournaments.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of games myself, and games that I know that I would never be interested in playing. And it never occurred to me that I would ever want to watch a game that I wouldn't play myself. But, like, for example, some of my favorite things to just, like, chill out with before, like, before bed, just to watch a nice long form video is Rust.
Oh yes,
I
Rush.
really, really enjoy watching there's a number of good content,
Yeah, it's a lot like Bushido
creators.
Blade.
Yeah, The Return of Bushido, yeah. Um, uh, there's a lot of really good content creators that create kind of a story like, "Here's welcome to Rust. Here's what I was planning to do and why I thought of doing this, and here's what I did," and it takes you through the whole story of them trying to do what they planned to do, whether it was to build a massive trap base or to make them to build an impregnable base or to build a newbie hotel or to build a car dealership. Um, and it's been a lot of fun to watch them. Now, that being said, I would never play that game. Never in a million years. There has been a couple of times when I'm like, Rust looks kind of fun. And it's like, yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. Stop turning it off. I'm trying to turn it off.
I was
Um, so yeah, yeah, there's I don't I it never occurred to me that there would be this kind of thing that I would enjoy of watching someone else play a game that I wouldn't play.
yeah. Yeah.
And Hell's
Agreed.
Court probably is one of those for you. Like, you would not play because you would never be good enough.
No, I would not be good enough at all.
Yeah. Rust, yeah, no, I couldn't. I wouldn't, I couldn't, and I don't wanna. I went into Rust for about 30 seconds when it first came out, and that's all I wanted. I realized immediately that was a game I did not wanna be involved with. But
So
yeah.
in the chat, Andrew has a really good breakdown of like the philosophy of building decks in deck builders.
Mhm.
He said that, AC is
Ace.
right. In deck building games, it's about the odds of lowering that RNG chance. You want the best chance to draw the cards you need as often as possible, so focusing on small combos helps a lot. This means removing cards that don't help with combos, draw cards, and removing cards that don't help with your overall combo. A draw card with no cost is a free card, so if you have a 40 card deck, it becomes a 39 card deck, etc. Drawing more than one is even better. Which, like, that's really smart and like generally helpful. But I think the issue that I always had was that's the kind of knowledge that you gain from playing those games a bunch. It's not the kind of knowledge that the games actually teach you. It's the kind of knowledge that, like now, someone else tells you, or
Mhm.
that you learn from a YouTube video or a walkthrough or something like that, a tip video, a tip article, not something the games themselves teach you. And so I feel like that that's a really good philosophy that I will take going forward into all those other games. But I wish that one of these games had some sort of, hey, here's the philosophy and things you could think about behind building the decks, because they don't, and that makes them a lot harder to get into.
Right.
They require a level of institutional knowledge that I don't think a lot of players have, which may be why they're kind of maligned. In a lot the same way that a lot of the sports sims games are maligned. You know,
Mhm.
if we try to pick up Madden, we're not going to know what the hell we're doing. And those games have notoriously bad tutorials that don't really teach you what to do or how to do it or why to do it.
Yeah. It's only speaking to the hardcores.
Yeah.
Chunderbox actually, it's just like us, finding a game that prefer to watch than actually play yourself. I got addicted to watching Twitch streamers playing DayZ. So really good at entertaining peeps play that. So I think you said so many really good and entertaining people play that. Yep. Um, so let's see. Speaking of games that you saw somebody watch and
Oh,
then did pick it up yourself.
okay.
All right, so it's actually it's not a streamer, it is a bunch of streamers that regularly get together and play some games together, and it's fucking hilarious. So it's several established streamers, all from Ireland. They kind of call themselves the Irish lads, and they will all get together and play something randomly, and it's fucking chaos. It's absolute fucking chaos. Hilarious chaos. But and I usually watch it through RT Game, and he will have like has a whole channel of the Irish lads, and it's him and some Dahi, and I forget, I think Jack is one of them, and Call Me Kevin is the fourth that they will bring on. And I was just, like watching a few YouTube videos before I, shut down for the night, and came across them playing Farm Simulator 2022. Now, Farm Simulator 2022 is not known for being like a chaotic game in the fucking least, but they turn it into just absolute fucking hilarity. Four Irish guys trying to grow potatoes in Farming Simulator, and it's like a daycare center. It really is. It's so funny. But it occurred to me, it's like, that kind of looks like fun, not the way they're playing, but I think it looks like kind of fun is farming stuff. I've got it. I've owned it because I bought it on sale quite some time ago, but I've never actually played it. So I think it was yesterday. I loaded it up and started playing it, and it's like, oh, this is a very deep game. It's a very deep game. You have to know your farming implements.
Oh, really?
Oh, not only do you have to know your farming implements, you have to know the different types of tractors, skid loaders versus front loaders versus wheel loaders, because you could buy a piece of equipment. It's like, why doesn't it fit on my tractor?
You're using an 18 millimeter hook instead of a 23 millimeter hook.
Exactly.
Oh,
So, but I have been playing it, and I'm finding myself oddly intrigued. Like, it's kind of nice to just it's got some real design flaws. Real design flaws. Like, it won't tell you what's compatible with something else, or at least it's not obvious. So you have to like kind of go on Google and research, like, hey, what tractor do I need to fit this particular implement? How do I pick up hay bales? What kind of hay
Oh,
bales? Are they square hay bales? Are they round hay bales? Are they
oh,
round hay bales of a certain diameter? What do you need?
so I guess, yeah, if it just says go pick up these hay bales and you're
Right.
like,
Right.
How?
Right.
With
Actually,
what?
well, you got
With
hay
a
on the ground
oh.
after after harvesting your wheat. You got hay on the ground. What do you do with hay? I don't know. It's like, well, you got to put it into bales. Okay, all right, we'll put it into bales. Then now what? Well, now you got to pick up the bales. Well, how do you do that?
Oh yeah, you
How do I pick up bales in Googling that shit? So yeah, it is definitely you need to Google every step of it early on.
so it really
Um,
it the name, it lives up to the name.
oh, it lives up to every bit of its name. Every bit of its name. But at the same time, I'm finding it oddly satisfying to just like every time I put fertilizer down. Yes, it only cost me $26,000 in equipment and 4 different kinds of fertilizers that were the wrong fertilizers for that equipment, but I got it.
It
I
took me
managed to do it.
$26,000 in 4 months, but I put fertilizer down.
Right, exactly. Now I gotta figure out what to do with weeds. Oh. Yeah, yeah. But I'm enjoying it. Not very good at it. Most of the
Mm.
time I'm flinging hay bales in wrong directions, and it's like things are falling off the truck but yeah, I'm enjoying Farming Simulator. And oh, another thing, another thing that I found out last night. Actually, I found it out this morning. So you're playing a game and you want to pause the game for a second because you want to take a phone call or go to the bathroom, right?
Mhm.
How do you normally do that?
Hit the
Like
start
a
button.
PC game, escape.
Oh,
You
yes,
usually
yeah,
go to
escape.
escape and you go into the menu, right?
Okay.
That doesn't pause the game.
Huh. Is
And
there
I
a
paused it.
pause?
Huh?
Is there a pause?
There is a pause. You have to go into a specific menu. There are multiple settings menus. You have to go into one specific menu, and then at the top of the screen, there is a pause button.
Hmm.
And if you don't do that, time
Hmm.
keeps moving. And this is a game where, you lose a couple of days, several days, or like last night, I hit escape and then left the computer running and went to bed and came back. And it's like a year and a half later, and I've got no money. It's like, what happened? I was in, and it's like, oh, it doesn't pause when you're in the menu.
Oh.
What? Why would you not do that? But anyway, so yeah, it's got some serious design flaws. But that's half of it. Of like, well, I fucked up that farm. Let's start another. Fucked up that one. Let's start another. Oops, ran out of money because I bought all the wrong equipment. All right, start another.
See, you can run all the farms into bankruptcy in Farming Simulator so that when you do it for real, you know what you're doing.
Right, right. And there is multiplayer.
Mm.
And it's
Oh, come
it's well, the multiplayer is fun to watch when you've got a lot of really fun friends and you're not actually trying to play the game. But but yeah, I'm find it oddly satisfying. So that's all really I've been playing.
Okay.
What
No
else?
more Bannerlord?
I haven't because, well, one, it hasn't called to me, and two, I've been kind of busy in the evenings.
Mm.
It's Christmas. I have been baking, which is
Ah.
dangerous because, of course, I don't have a husband to give that shit to, so I end up eating it. But
I'll take some.
um, I have also uh, endeavored to remember makgeolli.
Yes.
That was that milky kind of beer-ish drink, that Korean drink that we had when I
Yeah.
came over
It
to your
wasn't really
house.
beer. It was almost like a
Like
carbonated milk
yeah, it's
with
like a
alcohol,
carbonated alcoholic ricey milky thing, rice
but
milk.
really, really thin milk, almost like sake, really, like
Right.
carbonated sake.
Carbonated milky sake. Yes. I am making makgeolli.
Oh.
It's crazy easy. You put rice in a jar with some enzymes and you let it sit for 15,
Okay.
20 for 10 to 15 days.
Is this the start of your moonshine days? You're gonna become a bootlegger
I don't have a still
yet?
yet, but I'm going to try
That's
not
what
to.
bathtubs are for.
Yeah, no, I don't have that kind of patience. But yeah, I've been making makgeolli, and I am also and trying to perfect makgeolli in the winter time in the Bay Area, which is really hard to do because it's temperature specific.
Is
Um,
like, do you make it inside?
yeah,
Why does the temperature? I mean, you can control the temperature of your place.
yeah, but I don't keep my temperature at 70 to 75 degrees inside the
Oh,
house.
and it needs to be like consistent.
It doesn't have to be consistent, no. But you got to keep it between 70 and 75, which you're best keeping it between 70 and 73 degrees,
Okay.
74 degrees.
Hmm.
So it can drop down to as low as 65, but then it slows down the enzymatic reactions. So it's a little bit more challenging in the wintertime.
How many batches have you made so far?
I made 2 and I fucked up the first one.
Mm.
I I decanted it on Friday night after 10 days, and 10 days was not enough in this temperature.
Ah,
So it made the milky, soury stuff, but it hadn't actually converted anything to alcohol. But I got it in the refrigerator. So
does it still taste good?
it tastes all right.
Can you like just close it up and put it back and have it keep going?
I don't know. I've closed it up in the refrigerator and it's keeping I don't know if the conversion to alcohol is still happening though. So
Okay.
I'm assuming that it's just, a wipe.
Hmm.
So I restarted it again Friday night and I've got it. Now I've switched it. I put it into my walk-in closet because my walk-in closet actually is the warmest place in the house.
Hmm.
And I go in there twice or 3 times a day to check the temperature of what it is in there.
Okay. Well, sometime we'll have to get together. You bring over your homemade
Okay.
alcohol and homemade cookies.
Yeah, actually, no, it's fruitcake.
Oh, fruitcake
What's your
too.
opinion
Okay.
on fruitcake? And you in the chat room, what's your opinion on fruitcake? Yay or nay? I
I
love
I
it.
don't think I've ever actually had a fruitcake.
I'm gonna have to bring you some fruitcake.
Sure.
I mean, my fruitcake's a little different than most. I use Kevin's family recipe, which is the I hate fruitcake fruitcake.
Okay.
It's the fruitcake for people that hate fruitcake.
Okay. I feel like that's a good place to start.
Yeah, there you go. There's a makgeolli recipe. Crazy, stupid, easy. Steam rice, stick it in a jar, mix it with enzymes, put some water in it, mix it up, and then don't touch it for, well, I mean, you have to mix it for like 3 days. You have to mix it
Mm.
every 12 hours. And then after that,
Is
you cover it up, just leave it
is it like
anywhere
wine
from.
where the longer you leave it, the better?
It is like beer in that the longer you leave it, the better it will, the more alcohol it will get up to a certain point, and then then it starts to go bad. So you kind of gotta, after like, I mean, I've seen people that have done it for as long as 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But
Mm.
it's all dependent upon temperature.
Chunderbox with the pro tip. Heated blankets are quite good for keeping your brew warm. Use it a few times depending on the time of year.
Never occurred to me to use a heated blanket. I was always assuming that that would make it too hot, but you're right. An electric blanket, you can make 70 degrees and just leave it in 70 degrees. Hmm. Oh, hold on a second. I need to turn off my phone. Turn off my
Okay.
phone stuff. Stand by.
Okay. We've got some fruitcake opinions coming in. Bitters Plus says fruitcake is fine. Andrew says it's fruitcake is okay, but he'd rather just have regular cake.
Yeah.
And AC Wraith says he's not sure because his mom always put fruit in cakes anyways. Hasn't had a proper fruitcake in decades.
Maybe I need to make fruitcake and send fruitcake to everybody.
Yeah. GameHounds present for everyone. Fruitcake.
Yeah. I mean, I only have 3 giveaway fruitcakes right now, but
Mm.
I can make another batch. Of course, it will take another. That's the other thing. Fruitcakes, you can't just make and give away. You gotta soak them in booze for a little while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll put a fruitcake in the next pack swag bag.
See, a fruitcake is a very maligned thing, a bit like spinach and Brussels sprouts that everybody says, or even liver that says they hate them. But everywhere I go, it's always been, like, I actually really like fruitcake.
I've heard that about fruitcake. Like I know it's maligned. I will agree with spinach, but Brussels sprouts are really good.
How do you not like spinach, but you like Brussels sprouts? Spinach is delicious.
Spinach is bitter.
Yeah,
It's
and had
it's
good spinach.
it's bitter, and then like the texture of it. It's not a crunchy lettuce, right? It's very
Oh, I'm talking about cooked spinach.
okay. Well, cooked spinach is just like soggy.
Yeah, you've had somebody made it wrong. I'm fine with spinach. See, exactly. I think that those are just like things.
Brussels sprouts are good.
Brussels sprouts are delicious. Roasted Brussels sprouts on pizza. Oh, amazing.
Or what's the other thing that I had at a restaurant and then Rachel made it? It's baked. It's not spinach. It's like a crispy thing. When you bake it, it becomes really crispy, and you can kind of pick it up and eat it like a chip. Come back to me. I will.
I have no potatoes.
No, not a potato. And he says,
You
"What
just
did I
described a
just-"
potato, Nick. What did I just hear? He says. Oh, you mean the little growly crowd? Oh, unsubbed? What did you unsub about?
unsub?
And Brussels sprouts are amazing on pizza. Ah,
Oh,
one of the best pizzas I've ever had had roasted Brussels sprouts on it.
I could believe
Yeah,
Brussels sprouts on pizza.
it's actually really, really, really good. Yeah. I have offended. I have offended so many about saying putting in Brussels. And it was and that pizza was in New York City. Just saying. Yeah, roasted Brussels sprouts with a little bit of Parmesan on them. Same thing with broccoli. Roasting some broccoli shoots with Parmesan and olive oil. Oh. Anyway, this is not a food podcast. Shall we get to the news? I don't have much news, but I figured you'd have more than enough since you have 2 weeks worth of news.
Maybe I don't have a lot of news. I feel like there wasn't a lot of news that came out, but most of the news that did come out all shared a theme.
You know what we didn't do? We forgot to play the GameHounds theme. We forgot to open the show.
Oh,
Oops. That's all right. We can do it. That's all right. We don't need an opening. I could fake it. I faked a lot of things in my life.
It's news.
Steady.
You're listening to GameHounds, and your mom says to take out the trash
and do your homework. All right. So shall we hit the news? Let's hit the news. News and commentary of the week in gaming with Game Reading and Nick Nutella. And our first item is
I told you I forgot how to do this.
I did too. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, the opening was completely faked. Now you know. You've heard the magic. All right, so your first item is
Oh, which announcement to start with?
Whoop. Oh, sorry. I had it on loop. Shut up.
I'm going to start with my favorite of the film announcements, which is that during the I guess we could talk about the Game Awards.
We've already talked about the Game Awards.
Oh, okay. Anyways, during that time or just afterwards, Hideo Kojima said that he is working on a film adaptation of Death Stranding, but it will be a movie, a new story, new characters, it won't have the iconic Sam Bridges in it. It's basically just going to be a movie that takes place in the same universe.
I can see that. I think that that's the right if you're gonna do a Death Stranding movie, that's the right way to do it, or Death Stranding television show, that's the right way to do it.
Yes, especially because the story of those games makes fuck all sense.
Mhm.
I still have no idea what was going on, but I still really love that game. I like making zip lines and roads. If you ask me what that game is about,
I couldn't tell
I
you.
couldn't tell you. If you ask me what the last 4-hour cutscene of that game meant, I have absolutely no clue.
But it was a good game.
But it was fun.
Yep.
It was very fun. Oh,
Um
kale. That's what I had said before. Fried up
Oh,
bacon,
kale, yeah.
baked kale, like with some salt on it. Like
Mhm.
you can hold it almost like a chip and eat it. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So okay. The headline that I wrote says also because it was coming. I wrote it after some other news that Edie wrote,
This
but I'm
is
going to start with it
yeah.
because I'm most interested in this Death Stranding movie. I want to see what Kojima does when he's actually behind a film camera.
Oh, so he's directing it.
Actually, no. You know what? I don't know if he's directing it. He just said that he is working on it.
Probably producing it or maybe writing it, but I don't think he'd be directing it.
Yeah, there's really no no.
Guillermo del Toro is probably
Oh, that would be a good
directing it.
choice. Um, yeah, there's no like skill attached, no talent attached. It's basically Kojima Productions announced a partnership with Hammerstone Studios, which is the studio that produced the really good horror movie Barbarian that came out earlier this year. Uh, the two production companies working together to adapt the video game is basically all we're at the moment.
Right, right. So still early days.
Yes.
So my first item is actually way more important than that. I know you're psyched about it, but
Uh,
the top of
there's
the
nothing more important than Death Stranding.
yeah, no, there is, at least as far as I'm concerned, as far as games are concerned, the above the fold story is that Amazon has announced that it is going to be publishing the next Tomb Raider game. That's if you thought that Amazon was burned by almost every game that they put out so far in their games division, you would be wrong.
They haven't. I think New World has been doing pretty well, right?
New World, right, but everything else that they touched was just a
Well,
fucking mess.
everything else they touched didn't come out.
Right, exactly.
But also, I feel like they haven't done too much, right?
N
They have like they had like 4 things in development.
Right.
Two of them like got canceled. New World came out, and then like some other tiny thing came
That
out.
would be the kind of failure that Google would abandon the entire project immediately.
Oh, Google would have shut it down like
Instantly.
before the other things came out. Yeah.
Right, right.
And
But Amazon is obviously not Google, and they realized you're gonna have more failures than you are gonna have successes, and even moderate successes are still if you're not gonna get rich the first time out.
but
But
also, I think
they
they're
got
making
smart and realized that they need to, rather than develop in-house, they need to partner with other developers and publish the games.
yes, I think that's their best decision. Like they're not making it in-house. They're not developing the next Tomb Raider. The people that
Crystal
made
Dynamics is developing the first next Tomb Raider because it is a Embracer
Embracer,
Group
yeah.
title.
And yeah, the people that made the Tomb Raider games are going to keep making more Tomb Raider games.
Mhm.
It's just that Amazon is going to toss them a check so that they can put their name on it,
Yep.
which honestly seems like a pretty good deal.
Oh gosh. Dogs, quiet. Somebody might be at the door, but let me go see if somebody's at the door. Stand by.
Okay. But yeah, I think this is probably a really good deal. Video games are very, very expensive to make. Embracer Group specifically is not known for making like huge budget games. They make kind of Embracer Group makes the modern B tier games. And so it makes sense that they would want to partner with someone to make a Tomb Raider game because the Tomb Raider games, I imagine, would probably be pretty expensive. And so in order to keep Embracer's budget low, they partner with Amazon so that I don't know how much Amazon putting forward, but it's enough to offset the risk that Embracer is taking. And Amazon gets to put their name on it, which
Mhm.
is what they want to do. They get the clout that comes with it. Embracer gets some money thrown their way to offset a big budget game. It's kind of a win-win all around.
Yeah, and it is a little bit surprising. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, good. It is still a little bit surprising that, Embracer is allowing Amazon to publish the
Well,
game because Embracer technically, I mean, it should be the quote unquote publisher, but
yeah,
I'm sure that Amazon threw a bunch of money at them for it.
yeah, and I was saying before, Embracer doesn't make super expensive games. They make modern B tier games, and I think Tomb Raider might have a bigger budget than what they're used to. So having Amazon throw some cash their way,
Yeah,
it's just
probably
kind of
true.
a good way to offset that.
So, Crystal Dynamics studio head Scott Amos said in a statement that Amazon Games is, quote, uniquely positioned to rewrite what publishing and development collaborations are. And he also said that the share of Tomb Raider, they share Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider team's vision, quote unquote, vision, ambitions, and values.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. It's going to be developed in, it is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. It's still in early development, according to reports. So you're not going to see this anytime soon, but it also means that Amazon is interested enough in publishing games to be in the long haul.
Yeah.
If
Well,
they're publishing something in early development, it means they're around for at least 2 more years. They're
yeah.
going to
And
be.
and they're interesting in just being a publisher, not necessarily a developer.
Mhm. It's a smart move for them.
Yeah. They've got the
I mean,
money.
developer publisher is a great idea, but you really have to have a lot of time and skill and people under your belt. And you can't just, buy that off the shelf. You have
I
to
mean,
develop
you
that.
can, it just costs a couple $1 billion as Microsoft is
Right.
experiencing.
That's true. You buy someone else that has already done it.
Yeah.
It's way easier to do because you get it instantly. And that's a smart move. AC Ray says if they backtracked from the open world, then they could just keep releasing smaller tombs as a live service game.
And I think that's actually a cool idea because the tombs
I
in the
hate live service
no,
games.
but in the modern Tomb Raider games, the tombs were like the best part. They were kind of these standalone puzzles, like environmental puzzles, and they were
Mhm.
really cool to stumble across. Adding more of those could only be good.
Bitter says as long as it's good or better than the absolute first Tomb Raider game, I have no criticism.
I think that's a low bar.
And Chaos says that if it was Google, they would have shut the whole games division down after the first failed playtest. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And if it was Microsoft, they would have let it take down the entire company until Amazon was a single storefront in like a pop-up in downtown Seattle before they abandoned it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the biggish news of the week, in my opinion.
Well, speaking of Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
Deadline
Oh.
has reported
Mm-hmm.
that Amazon is going to develop a God of War TV show.
I can see that. Amazon is and I think that Amazon probably went into the games division thinking that it was the same as movie production, and that is the big difference between games and movies is you can't just do it, throw money in it and do it. You kind of have to buy somebody because you need the brain trust. It's not, there's not as much brains out there that know what they're doing. But yeah, Amazon has a really, really, really good reputation of making TV shows.
They do, and they seem to be leaning hard into genre because they announced God of War. They've
Mhm.
got Fallout coming out. God knows they've invested heavily into Lord of the Rings. They also have Wheel of Time. They
Bad
had
Omens.
they had the Expanse. Oh yeah, Bad Omens, the new one, The Peripheral. I've heard
Mhm.
good things
The
about.
Expanse.
Yeah, Expanse. That's over though. But they've
Actually, and they acquired that too.
yeah.
But still, they're kind of they recognize that is an underserved community of like serious geeks and science fiction and fantasy fans that would love to see more of their stuff done, and
Yeah.
who I'll have to give a tip of the hat to Amazon learning from HBO that yeah, it costs a lot of money to make a really good fantasy series, but if you make a really good fantasy series and do a good job at it and throw that money at it, you can create, Game of Thrones. There are there are stories out there as good as Game of Thrones
Mhm.
and have been for years, but no one has believed that they could make the investment to make a good television show out of it. And HBO proved that they could. Cost you a lot, but you make a lot.
Yeah.
And Expanse proved it sort of too.
Yeah, and you know what? The first season of Game of Thrones did not break the budget.
Mm-mm.
It I think it's always weird thinking about like, oh, Game of Thrones, it's so expensive. It's so
It was
expensive.
at the end.
At the end it was, but in the first season was notorious for like there's a big battle and then Tyrion gets smacked in the face and faints and we skip the whole battle. And it's like, oh yeah, Game of Thrones isn't about the battles, it's about the politicking. And then next year it became about the battles. But like
Right.
you can do that. And the first 3 seasons of The Expanse were done on a sci-fi show budget.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, you don't have to break the bank. You don't have to spend Rings of Power money on your fantasy show.
No. And it kills me. It just kills me. Firefly was about 10 years too early.
Mm,
If
yeah.
Firefly was if we had the same cast and Firefly was made now, like if everybody was at least a decade or so younger and that show was made now, it would roll in cash. Roll in cash.
I'm surprised no one's tried to like redo it.
I don't well, I think that no one's tried to redo it because everybody is scared of it because it got canceled. It's a thing in Hollywood that people don't want to pick up failed series. It's
Mhm.
only in the there's only been like 2 or 3 cases where a show and most of them recently that a show that has been canceled by a network has been picked up by someone else and carried on. That is previous to The Expanse and Arrested Development. Even Arrested Development
Yeah,
was
most
a
of those are
fail.
Netflix. I think Netflix did it with You and Manifest most recently.
Previous to that, there's only been one, and it was The Wonder Years. And it was only because The Wonder Years had the first season, they canceled it, and then it won the Emmy for Best Show, and
Oh,
they brought it
really?
back.
Huh.
Previous to that, it had never happened before. So you think in all of the time that television has been around, you've had one show that did it, and then it's been like 2 or 3 in the last few years. That's an acceleration
Yeah.
of this because
Although Firefly did get the movie.
Firefly got the movie, but I think that Firefly got the movie because it was part of a contract. It was
No, I think it was like, hey, we saw this one season thing is a big enough hit. We're gonna
make a movie, and
throw like 30,
Yeah.
$50 million
Yeah,
at it.
but the movie was not the series. The series was the series. The movie was
Yeah.
great, but the series was the series. That was the tits. That was the whole thing. So yeah, Carnival Row, another case in point.
I never saw that.
It's really good. Oh, you
I heard that it
got
got
to see
canceled
it.
though.
Huh?
I heard it got canceled.
I believe it did, but you've got to see it.
Does it end on a cliffhanger?
I haven't watched the most recent season of it.
There's only one.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Double check that. Go chat room. Is there only one season of Carnival Row? Because the one season of and yes, it probably does end on a cliffhanger. Not a cliffhanger, but it feels like there's more story there. But Carnival Row is really good.
AC Ray said Alien Nation got 5 movies in 4 years after being canceled.
Right, being canceled for 4 years?
Tenbuck says it's not canceled.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
I know I've seen it pop up on my notifications.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh shit, maybe I should spend more time watching Amazon. I've been watching a lot of Netflix. The Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is a really, really good anthology show.
Blood Reaper says, or don't know who owns the rights to it and don't want to make money on it for someone to pop up saying that he had the rights and then have to pay him.
Oh yeah, for Firefly.
I think Fox owns the rights still. So yeah, and I do know that all of the sets were, the minute it was canceled, typical fucking Fox, the minute it was canceled, all of those sets were destroyed. Like, and that's what I broke a lot of people. A lot of the people involved broke their hearts, was seeing those sets just destroyed, taken apart, and the lumber used for other stuff.
Okay, so I guess Carnival Row, there's going to be a season 2, but that's it.
Okay.
And I guess the pandemic caused a bunch of filming problems.
That's right. That's right. That's what you remember, is that is because that was under development and they had to stop development. They were filming and they had to stop filming because of that.
Yeah, and then I guess Orlando Bloom had a daughter, and so he can't change his priorities. So season 2 will be the last, but it will come back in February.
Well, that's good. And actually I'm kind of glad that they had that time off, if they're going to cancel it. They had the time off during the pandemic to be able to reconnoiter the story so they can wrap it up and not leave it with this. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Bloody COVID. Yeah. We're going to be feeling the effects of COVID for at least 5 years. It's reverberating, and it will. And I said that at the beginning, that you're going to see the reverberations of this shutdown for a very long time.
I was just thinking there was a new season of something coming out, and I was just telling Rachel, like, oh, I thought that got canceled. No, it just got delayed because of COVID.
There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, my next item is,
can I do more movie news?
Sure, more movie news. Go ahead.
Henry Cavill has gone on a bit of a roller coaster in his career recently. He left The Witcher series on Netflix to renew his position as Superman for the DC movies.
Right.
Then it was announced that they were going in a different direction with Superman movies, so he's out as Superman. Now, apparently, he is going to be making a Warhammer 40K movie. So,
the man knows his audience. He really, really does, doesn't he?
I mean, look, it's well known that he is a giant nerd, that he has a Warhammer table. He's painted Warhammer figures. He's a Warhammer dwarf.
He's live streamed building his own PC.
Yes. And so I guess again, Henry
Cavill is less than half my age, and I got a little bit of a chubby over him.
He's going to be working with Vertigo Entertainment, which coincidentally was also one of the studios behind Barbarian. So People from Barbarian seem to like video game adaptations.
Well, they're smart. They know that there's money in them there hills.
Yes,
There's a lot of it.
and he is also signed on as an executive producer, which makes sense because he is a real. He loves the source material,
Mhm.
and has an executive producer. He can kind of control the production of it, because the rumors are that one of the reasons he left The Witcher on Netflix is that he didn't like how the writers were adapting the show.
That's gonna be really interesting. I didn't hear that. That's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
interesting to see
they replace.
what direction the show they're doing.
Yeah, I'm. It makes me want to go read the books to see how different the show is, because I only know the show.
You mean the video game?
Well, yes, the video game, but the show is like kind of a different thing,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, it's more based on the books.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
the books. I don't know how they're
Hey, do we
differing.
wanna start maybe a book club, like a one-time only book club, and we get together and we read, like, The Witcher, and, like, once a week, we'll get together and we'll drink wine
I'll read The
and eat
Witcher.
canapés, and then we can talk about the chapter that we read. Like, we'll read it, like, "Okay, you're gonna read chapter 2
Yeah,
this week," and we'll get together, and if you guys in the chat room wanna do it, we could have, like, a weekly book club
I would
and stream it.
totally read The Witcher. I've been meaning to read it. It's
Okay.
just something I've never gotten around to.
All right, gentlemen and ladies, it is officially announced we are doing the GameHounds book club and starting with The Witcher.
Should I go buy The Witcher?
Yeah, we got to go buy it. And if you want to do it, go grab yourself a copy of The Witcher in English or whatever your language is. And we will do Twitch streams of our, all get together and Twitch it and have like get together for an hour, hour and a half. We drink wine and we discuss the chapter that we read. Bitter says that sounds cool. The Witcher and box wine. Except my box will have beer. There's nothing. My box will be Macaulay. So yeah, here's the Witcher saga. 8 books. Oh, that's all. Are we gonna read all of them, Nick?
Well, okay. I know The Witcher Saga Book 1 is a collection of short stories.
All right.
And I think the first 2 books, The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, are collections of short stories.
All right.
And then Blood of Elves, which is The Witcher Book 3 / The Witcher Saga Novels Book 1, is the first novel.
So let's start with 3. So that
We
way
want
we
to start with
start
the novel.
with the novel. And then if we want to continue on, then we can do the short stories.
But how will I know what's going on?
Do you need to read the short stories to understand the novel?
I have no idea.
We'll tell you. Well, actually, next week. Are we even having a show next week?
Oh, probably not, because next Sunday is Christmas.
Christmas. And then the next day after that is New Year's Day.
Okay, I could do New Year's Day.
I could do your New Year's Day.
Okay.
I'm going to be down at the ranch, but the ranch we have, what's Elon Musk's thing? Their internet.
So the Starlink.
Starlink. They have Starlink there now, so it's great. They have better internet at the ranch than I have at home. Yeah, it's $1,000 a month, but it's really good. Really good. So yeah, Henry Cavill, The Witcher. We'll let you know. We'll put it in the Discord what book we're going to start with, and Nick and I will do some research after the show today to figure out whether we want to do it and start with the novels or whether we want to start with the short stories. Either way, we'll see. All right. So, any other movie news you want to hit, or do you want me to look? Like, you probably do. I see other stuff. So
That's the only movie stuff I have.
Okay. Then let me move on. If you are a fan of Epic games, especially older Epic games, you may want to check to see if you are still going to have a server soon. Epic announced that they are cutting off online services for 17 of their older titles. They announced this through a blog post, and they said that these shutdowns are going to start on. They're already starting to be enacted, but they're going to be completed in January 24th of next year. So in a little over a month. So here's a lot of them are from the Unreal series, but they're not exclusively. 6 of them are Unreal games. Here and like also some other games that we have nothing to do with. And if you do, you don't listen to GameHounds. I don't want you as a listener.
Wow.
Okay, so here's the games that are affected. Dance Central 1, 2, and 3. Then also Epic wanted to let you know that if you're a friend of Dance Central VR, please stop listening to GameHounds, and that Dance Central VR online multiplayer will remain available. So those are the ones that's like if you're that's your game, then you and I don't even belong in the same species at this point. 1,000 Tiny Claws is another one. Green Day Rock Band, Rock Band 1, Rock Band 2, and Rock Band 3, all but Rock Band 4 online multiplayer will remain available. I thought Rock Band was shut down.
Wait, also, I thought those were EA's, not Unreal.
Not Unreal. No.
Not Epic.
Okay, they're Epic.
Why
Rock
is
Band
Epic
1, 2, and 3. Also, Beatles Rock Band.
Why does Epic have servers for Rock Band?
I don't know, but they did.
Hmm.
So maybe I remember them not deciding not to do the next Rock Band, but the servers were still available. Maybe that's the case. Another game, Monsters Probably Stole My Princess, which is a game I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars.
No idea.
Unreal Gold, Unreal 2 The Awakening, Unreal Tournament 2003, Unreal Tournament 2004, Unreal Tournament 3. But Epic did say that they, quote, plan to bring back online features via Epic online services in the future. And
Okay.
Unreal Tournament Game of the Year edition. So that's the 17 titles.
Okay.
So all of them are, there's nothing that's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're shutting it down. These are all games that are, almost 2 decades old in some cases. So yeah, if you're still using those servers, wrap it up. Gotta go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's over. Turn out the lights. Party's over.
I just saw that Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is on sale for $40 on Xbox. I might have to pick that up.
Is that cross-platform multiplayer?
I don't think so.
Why would you play it on Xbox?
Because I don't want to play on PC.
Why? It's a better experience.
I like my couch and controllers.
Right.
Don't console shame me.
I'm console shaming you about that. Trying to play Bannerlord on a console.
Hey,
it's like playing Kerbal Space Program on a console.
It's like playing Pillars of Eternity 2 on a console.
Yeah. All right. So that was my story. Any last call, drink up. AC Ray says Epic has general use servers no matter what engine you use. I've been tempted to use the Score servers myself. Oh.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. And there's your Xbox sale. Why don't you just buy it on is it cheap on Windows?
Steam?
No, Windows for the Game Pass.
Oh, I mean, maybe?
I would do that. Just saying. So yeah, that's next item, Nick. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Only 3?
I think I had to like maneuver around a bunch, so that's what
Got it. So, next.
um okay, I had like stuff open. Next, Guerrilla Games announced that they are making a Horizon multiplayer game. I think this has been a rumor for a long time.
I couldn't
Horizon
decide if
is
I think I'd like that.
Horizon is one of the biggest games on PlayStation, but they're both strictly single player games, so it makes
Bannerlord is
sense that
currently $34.99 on Steam.
oh fuck you
Just
AC Racing.
saying.
Fuck you. Do I want to pay $5 extra for the comfort of my TV?
You're good. I would look up some reviews because, pardon me, because this is that's a, I can see that being a very difficult thing to translate over. They're either going to have to strip it down like with The Sims, or that it's cumbersome to use with a controller. I will I will look for reviews comparing the two if the experience on a console is good. So anyway, Guerrilla Games is making a Horizon multiplayer game, been in the works for quite some time.
Yes, yes. They've it's been a sort of expected thing, like a secret that everyone knows. What is it? An open secret that they're
Mhm.
working on a multiplayer game, and they have now finally officially announced it.
Did they announce it, or was it announced through the job, like supposed through the job announcement? Because AC Wraith is linking to a link for the job announcement.
On Twitter, Guerrilla Games wrote a new internal team is developing a separate online project set in Horizon's universe,
Mm.
featuring a new cast of characters and unique stylized look. Friends will be able to explore the majestic world of the majestic wilds of Horizon together.
So do you think it's going to be a multiplayer game or an MMO?
You're right. They don't say, yeah, multiplayer could mean MMO. Honestly, MMO would make more sense considering the scope of that world and kind of just what it is.
Mhm.
Oh, AC Ray says that's the job listing. But if they put it out on Twitter,
Yeah, then it's
that's
officially announced.
yeah, they're not trying to keep it secret.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, I could easily see it being an
I guess the
MMO.
job advertisement doubled as an announcement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see an MMO.
So could I.
God knows, yeah, that game is vast enough. That world is vast enough to support an MMO style thing.
Mhm. Yes, it is. Whoop. Uh, 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 there we go. Yeah, it is, and I probably would be more interested in it as an MMO, than as a multiplayer game, just because MMOs are such different experiences, where multiplayer
Yeah.
games are kind of the same game, but played together.
You know what? I also know Sony has been trying to beef up its multiplayer offerings recently. That's why they bought Bungie.
Mhm.
Because look, Sony has put out a lot of really great first party games, but they're all single player games,
Right.
right? They kind of own that prestige single player genre. So they've been looking to get into more online things. I actually, now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if this is an MMO and if like some of the people from Bungie are kind of helping out on it.
Worked for Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I would play a Horizon MMO. I really like that world.
I might. I would play that Horizon MMO if there were people that I played with that
Mm,
I enjoyed their company, like, got me into it, because I did not I wasn't I didn't I didn't really like Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, the Zero Dawn.
Sorry, Horizon Zero Dawn. I played it, but I didn't really get into it, and it didn't propel me. I'm probably one of like 12 people in the world that wasn't crazy about it.
No, I've heard that's a common criticism.
It didn't really like get me. And it might have been. I should probably go back to it and give it another shot because that your opinions about things can change based on your mood. So I don't know. Maybe that was it. I could go back and enjoy it more, but I could also see that if this was something that a bunch of people played and it was like a long form game. That was one of the reasons why I like MMOs. It's a long form game. You play it for years. It's something that you do, like getting together and playing a D&D game. It's your friends, your group, getting together, doing stuff together, just as long as you don't have to make it every damn day and it take over your life. And I could see me enjoying that no matter where it was in any world. So we'll see. We'll see. My next item is let's see. It's timely. Speaking of PlayStation, you were talking about PlayStation having like the, prestige first person experience. But speaking of prestige experiences on PlayStation, 3 Far Cry games, including Far Cry and Far Cry Primal, are among the groups of the slate of games that are going to be joining PlayStation Plus's new extra tier of downloadable titles for December. So there's not everybody. It's just the ones of those who have paid up for the prestige experience of extra.
Okay, this isn't the it's not the tier we're on.
No, it is not the tier we're on. It's the tier above us. It is the concierge service level.
Gotcha.
It's the bottle service. Here are the games that are coming out. These are all coming out December 20th. Mortal Shell, PS4, compatible with PS5.
Good game.
Judgment, PS4, compatible PS5.
Also good from what I hear.
The Pedestrian, PS4, PS5.
Really cool.
Evil Genius 2, PS4, PS5.
Don't know that one.
Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion,
Also
PS4.
don't know that one.
Me either. Clearly, I don't. Ben 10 Power Trip, PS4, PS5.
Don't know that one.
Gigantosaurus the Game, PS4.
Don't know.
Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire Ultimate Edition, PS4.
Very good. I would highly recommend that one.
Worms WMD, PS4.
I think that's one of the good ones.
Yep. And The Escapists 2, PS4.
I know of it.
And on January 3rd, you're going to get one more WWE 2K22 for the PS4.
I don't know.
Now, all these PS4 games are compatible for PS4 for PS5, be it like quote unquote backwards compatible. So yeah, also Far Cry 5, Far Cry Primal, and Far Cry New Dawn. So Far Cry 5 and Far Cry Primal are PS5s. Far Cry New Dawn is for PS4, but like I said, compatible for the PS5. Also, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, both for the PS4, but playable on PS5. And Yakuza 6 Song of Life for PS4, Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS4 and PS5, and Judgment for PS4, PS5.
Okay.
So all of those come out on the 20th. The only one that doesn't come out on the 20th is WWE 2K22 for the PS4. That comes out January 3rd.
There's some good games in that list.
That's I'm not gonna lie. I'm not getting the bottle service because there is no sex in the champagne room. But if I did if I was I'm not going to argue. Actually, I'm going to say I'm not going to argue that there's no sex in the champagne room because that is a pretty sexy list for the extra payment. I mean, it definitely seems like at least this month that is a good value for the money.
Yeah. Although, probably the best game on that list is Pills of Eternity 2. And in the past 2 months, I've seen that game like on sale for $10, $15.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you look on Epic or Steam, that game is dirt cheap. Also, again, I highly recommend you play it. That game, very good RPG, very in depth, also very long.
Okay. I might pick that up. In fact, I'll put it on my wish list tonight. Because I know, I mean, it's Christmas. They're going to be at least another couple of.
Oh, yeah, there's already
Sales.
Christmas sales going on, and like
Yeah.
Epic has a whole thing going on now.
Yeah. AC Ray says the pedestrian is there, but Nick played that as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says Nick's already played Mortal Shell, so he's good. So yeah. I guess the two bits of information are the games, but also kind of an editorializing that I'm kind of impressed with that lineup for the value of, because what's the difference in price between PS Plus versus vanilla PS? Sorry, PS Plus Extra versus
okay.
PS
I'm
Plus.
looking at PlayStation levels explained. Oh no, that's all about trophy systems.
Let's see. PS Plus versus PS Plus Extra. Extra price. Okay, so I'm just looking at this from Tom's guide. All right, so PS Plus Essential is $10 a month. PS Plus Extra is $15 per month, 40 per quarter or 100 per year.
Okay, that's a lot of extra. That adds up to a lot.
Right. Then there's I'm wrong. The bottle service, the champagne room service is PlayStation Plus Premium, which is $120 a year.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one that allows you to stream.
Well, I don't need to stream. I just need to download.
Yeah, exactly. So that's if you consider that the difference between what we get normally and the PS Plus Extra is $5 a month, or it's a pretty good deal. It's a really good deal. Especially if I see more months like this. I'm going to watch that very carefully in coming months, because if this could be a one-time only thing that it's this strong, but if it continues to be this strong on the regular, then I might consider actually paying up.
I mean, I want to play more games on Xbox.
Blood Reaper has the bottle service. Has top tier.
Also, I remember I told you before that I had bought Battlefield 2042 because it was $10 on Amazon. I also realized that it's also on Game Pass now.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Hey, thankfully it was only $10. It was only $10. Who cares?
Yeah, I've you know me, I've done that a couple of times. AC Wraith makes a point. He says all of those seem to be really long games. Is it even good to get that many long form games at once?
No, because as someone who bought Horizon Forbidden West, Dying Light 2 at the same time, along with a whole bunch of other things, I'm never going to play all that.
Yeah, I've done that.
I will not play those games for the next 6 months.
So, next item.
This is my last one. Small but nice. Insomniac has confirmed that their Spider-Man 2 game will launch next fall. So they basically confirmed it for 2023.
Good.
Yeah, which is just good to know. That Spider-Man game was really, really cool. And yeah, they've been working on this one for a while.
Do I still have that? Miles Morales? I don't. I got it with my PlayStation. I don't think I ever opened it. I think I might have sold it.
Yeah,
I just wasn't interested.
it's a very good action game.
That's what I heard, but I wasn't
Yeah.
interested. Okay. Well, then my next item is also very rather light and very short.
Okay.
Ubisoft announced this week some good news and some bad news. Some bad news if you live in North America, unless you have a way to get over to Europe. I have gotten off my screen because I looked up fucking PlayStation Plus. I hate you, Nick.
Oh.
There we go. All right. So Ubisoft Massive is looking for playtesters for its upcoming Star Wars game. They announced it on Friday, so just like a couple of days ago. They did say, however, they are prioritizing people who live close to its studio in Malmo, Sweden. That's where the testing is going to be taking place. So, if you're into that shit and you're over here, you can go to Sweden and hang out in Sweden and be a playtester, because why the fuck not if you've got money to burn? If you don't have money to burn and you're near Malmo, Sweden, you might want to think about, being a playtester. So it is a paid position. You will be paid for your time. You will also receive free lunch, drinks, and snacks. And if you are interested in participating, I will link the playtesting link here. Who knows? You could be listening from Sweden. You could be, maybe your family lives over there. You got a cousin who lives in Sweden. If you're interested, here's the link to it. And here's the thing is that they are looking for playtesters in all languages. So if you don't, I would imagine that a lot of people around the Sweden location, that Malmo, Sweden, speak Swedish, but there may be a lot fewer people who speak native English. Not saying that they don't speak English, but like native perfect English. Here is the link. I am putting it. I'm making. God, I hate it when I can't do banners. Here it is. There's the link. www.massive.se, as in Sweden, /playtesting/. Enjoy. That would be kind of cool to be a playtester.
Yeah.
If I had nothing better to do and unlimited cash, I would go to Malmo, Sweden and go be a playtester for a month or 2 or 3.
Although I think
I'd also be the ugliest person in Sweden, because Sweden, they kill their ugly at birth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably the Star Wars game made by the team that did The Division.
Possibly. Let me see
that's
if
the
that's
only
included.
That's the only one Ubisoft is working on.
Let's see. Yes. Massive Star Wars game is being developed with its Snowdrop engine, which also powers the Division series and the studio's upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Speaking of Avatar, have you seen the reviews? Holy crap. On the movie?
They haven't been bad.
I've maybe it's just because it's coming up on my screen, but yeah, the ones I've seen coming up on my Google newsfeed are like, oh my God, this is awful.
Really?
It is a giant, like, who's the guy that makes Avatar movies?
James Cameron?
James Cameron. It's like a James Cameron masturbation the entire time. Like,
we get very different feeds, because every review that I've read is either been like, it's good, or like, yeah, it's really good. I've seen nothing but like good things said about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's not coming over my feed. I'm trying to pull it up here if I can see one here. SF. I think it was on SF Gate. I saw the review for it. Stand by. I've got to allow it to give me ads because SF Gate is SF Gate. What was it? Avatar?
Yeah, The Way of Water.
Yeah. Review. Review. James Cameron's ego turns Avatar: The Way of the Water into endless torture. That's the headline.
Okay. Does
Mick
it
LaSalle,
say
who is actually, that's out of the Chronicle. Mick LaSalle is a very like well-known, reputable old like reviewer. He's not just some guy.
okay?
See what does it say? I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, what's the like byline? Or not
Let's
byline.
see. I am sharing it right now. It's a 1 hour story rattling around in a 192-minute bag. There was potential here for something lovely, a sweet and moving environmental parable, clocking in at 90 minutes tops. But no, James Cameron can't do anything so modest. Instead, he bloats it with ego and by some bizarre impulse shows off every single idea he and a team of screenwriters imagined for this world since the original Avatar debuted in 2009. The result is a self-important, larded, smothered movie that's work to sit through. It might even put you to sleep unless you watch it with Dolby Sound, which rumbles through the chairs every time someone starts an engine.
Okay. What's interesting compared to the positive reviews I read
Mhm.
is that it all depends on what you think of the spectacle. Because the positive
Mm.
reviews I read were like, yes, this is really good spectacle. Like the world is beautiful. It's really cool to look at and watch and experience. And it's a it's fun to be in this world. The action is really well staged and well done. Like they're like, yeah, the story's okay. Actually, the reviews are very similar to the first one. Yeah, the story's okay, but the spectacle is worth it.
Mick LaSalle
And
is
it
somebody who's not impressed by flimflamery of that
he doesn't like
level.
spectacle. I mean,
It's not that he doesn't like spectacle, is that a spectacle is not a substitute for a good movie.
maybe, but like, look, the first Avatar was not a badly written movie. Like for all the
No.
jokes about it, it's like no,
It
it
was
was
alright. It was an
it,
interesting idea.
but like okay, here's the thing. Here is my like thesis about Avatar and James Cameron and all that. Avatar is like a competently written script.
Mhm.
That is a shocking rarity. And I think people don't give it enough credit for just executing on like basic fundamental storytelling competence of just like, hey, the A to B to C plot, there's character arcs. It's like, hey, this story works. So many like spectacle movies
Yeah,
nowadays
true.
don't do that.
You I get that. That it's spectacle and that's all it is.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
that
like,
it's got a foundation to it, and I could see that, but at the same time, that is a really fucking horrible bar.
well,
Horribly low bar,
sure,
embarrassingly low bar.
sure, but like I also think that the Battle Angel Alita movie that he didn't direct but he produced it and I think he had some writing credits was also like, "Oh my god, this is a really neat movie. Like it's cool that there's character arcs, like it's just a good written movie." And it's like watching something that's just competent makes me realize as someone who sees a lot of movies, especially I like the Marvel movies, but it's like you're getting by with a lot of flash and charming characters for a story that doesn't really hold up a lot.
Right.
And it's like, man, I miss I'm excited for Avatar 2 to see it because I miss the good, solid meat and potatoes competence that James Cameron brings to every project he does.
Alright. Well, anyway,
I
how
I
did we get
I,
onto that?
I don't know.
Oh,
How
you
did
said
we, how did we get onto
something
that?
about Avatar, and that's we were
Oh,
talking about
the Ubisoft is making
Ubisoft.
an Avatar game. You asked me if I'd seen
No,
the
they're making a
movie.
Star Wars game.
No, but the engine being used for the Star Wars game is also being used
Right,
for
right,
their
right, 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 right.
Avatar game.
That's how welcoming.
You then asked me if I'd seen it. I said no, I didn't. You were like, I heard bad reviews. I said I heard good reviews.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So, yeah, the Star Wars game. Yves Guillemot claimed that this back in February that the game that they're working on in their Sweden studios is quote unquote groundbreaking. But it was back then it was an early stage of development. So I would imagine that this is not that much farther. I mean, it's been almost a year, but still that's not a lot. And I got a puking dog. Great.
Oh,
So, by the way,
I'm all
this is not Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is
no,
supposed to be in March 2023. It's a totally different
yeah,
game.
and that's
And
from
it's not
EA.
Quantic Dream Star Wars Eclipse, which is the narrative driven action adventure game
Yes.
from Amy Henning. It's not that. It's another Star Wars game.
Yeah, once
There's
they
too
broke
many
that,
Star Wars
once
games. There's too many. Can we call a moratorium on the goddamn Star Wars fucking games? I can't keep them all straight.
once they broke with that exclusive EA deal, they're just like, go broke.
Everybody's making a Star Wars game. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I no,
Annapurna's making a fucking Star Wars game.
you know what? I say go for it because EA did jack shit with the license.
Sierra Online Adventures, the Star Wars experience.
Hey,
I'd play that.
if Sierra wants to make a point and click Star Wars game,
I
I would
fucking
do that.
oh god, yes.
I don't think Sierra
All
exists
over.
no, Sierra
It
doesn't exist
doesn't. It
anymore.
doesn't.
But if they come back just to make a Star Wars point and click game, I would play
Oh,
that.
oh my god. Oh my god, I'd love that. I'd live for that. I would go to Sweden to play test the shit out of
Oh,
that game.
no, you know what I would prefer? And
Mhm.
which would be more likely? I want to see Tim Schafer and the other LucasArts guys make a Star Wars point and click game.
Oh, Double Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a goofy Star Wars point and click game in the vein of Monkey Island and Mansion something Maniac Mansion.
Or Grim Fandango.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. AC Ray said we just mentioned the game Williams are working on last week. Did we? I don't remember.
The game that Williams? What was
Williams,
Williams?
you mean the pinball machine guys?
Who's Williams?
I think it means the pinball maker because we are talking AC right.
Oh,
Anyway,
did you get a email from PlayStation about your year in review?
oh no, I didn't even look. Let me see. No, that's Mia. Where did you throw up? I'm gonna have to go find that later. My consoles. Here we go. My PlayStation year in review. I have not. I got something from the Microsoft accounts team. I got Steam support. Yeah, nothing. No, Steam support.
No.
Unbox archiver, Steam. Archiver, Steam, archiver. Yeah, no, nothing. Let's see. Let me see. When did you receive yours? What's the date?
A couple days ago.
Nope, haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. I can share my screen, my
Yes, please.
PlayStation history.
Yes, please. I would love to see that.
Let's see.
Colossal Cave 3D. That's what it was. A Leisure Suit Larry cameo in a Star Wars game? Yes, absolutely. Ken and Roberta. That's right.
Oh, Ken and Roberta Williams.
Right. What they were in the Game Awards. What
they did something
what
at
they
there. They
making?
presented at the Game Awards, didn't they?
Was it? I thought they said that they were making something.
Oh, maybe.
Ken Roberta Williams new game. That's right. Colossal Cave. That's the game. Colossal Cave 3D. That's
Oh,
Cygnus
they're actually
Entertainment. They're
making.
actually making a new game. I forgot about that. Completely forgot that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there's the link to Colossal Cave 3D. That's what they're making.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Colossal Cave Star Wars edition.
Yeah.
So in 2022.
Oh yeah. I've played about 440 hours
Mhm.
on PlayStation games.
Most of it in Elden Ring.
So I guess 322 was on PS5 titles. 117 is on PS4.
Which was Elden Ring.
No, Elden Ring would be PS5.
That's what I mean.
Oh yes. And now, okay, top games. This is what we want. I played 30 games. The top was Elden Ring, which
Mhm.
took up 40% of my playtime on PlayStation. Which is insane for me to think about. 40 and I like PlayStation. I've played some Xbox games,
Mhm.
but PlayStation is like my primary
It's the
console.
go-to. Mhm.
So the fact that almost half was taken up by Elden Ring,
Yep.
that's interesting. 173 hours. What also really surprised me is that God of War Ragnarok is second at 51 hours. Like I played that
11% of your time. That's the number 2 game is 11% of your
yes.
time.
But the fact that I put 51 hours into that game over the course of like 2 weeks,
Mhm.
that's a
That is
lot.
pretty impressive. Yeah.
Uh
That's a part-time job.
yeah. And then Pillars of Eternity 2 is right behind it.
At the same amount.
Yeah. And then to my surprise, Ender Lilies, which is also really high on my list. But I didn't realize that game was 30 hours. And then I somehow put 20 hours into Bug Snacks. Which I will reiterate, Bug Snacks was a great game. And those are just like stats.
How many trophies?
I got
Wow. Well, all of them are in Elden Ring and God of War.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it says I earned 1 trophy.
No. Yes, you
1
did
platinum.
platinum.
But what I think is funny is that by pure coincidence, my first trophy of the year
Was
was
repair
it
your
of the
car
year?
in Burnout Paradise.
And my latest trophy was from Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered.
That's
No,
funny.
wait, but that says first trophy in 2008, not in 2022.
Oh, that is your well, that's really strange.
What's my first trophy for the year? I would prefer to know that, but unfortunately, like this whole year in review is like, here's your top stuff, but then it doesn't tell you anymore.
Right.
And then I spent 5 hours in multiplayer games, which is probably all the quarry.
The Quarry, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, no. It's Chivalry 2.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Didn't I see something about Chivalry 2? Is it free? Or did they make it crossplay? What's the news? I remember seeing some news about Chivalry 2. Yeah, Chivalry 2. Oh, it's free to play last weekend. Damn it.
Oh, okay. But just free to play, not like free.
Yeah, it was free to play. But yeah, man, I wouldn't mind some Chivalry 2 tonight.
I still have that installed on my console.
Me too. Didn't we have like something we wanted to play again? We should make a
No,
list of stuff we want to play together.
we wanted to do Think of the Children, but it
Couldn't do that.
wasn't
Well,
online.
right. It is online, but you have to do the little special like share screen share, not screen share, play share.
Oh,
Yeah, you can do it. It's just yeah, we talked about that last week. That
okay.
it's too much reading. That you're not a reader at all.
Oh
You
no,
don't read.
I hate reading. I hate words. I hate
Yep.
books.
Yep.
Fuck books.
Well, you don't read for your video games. If the instructions are too complicated, you will bail.
Maybe. I mean, I Pillars of Eternity 2 begs to differ.
Yeah, true. Remote play together. That's what it is. Thank you. Um, join us for the book club.
I I hate books. Books suck.
So when I get my notification about my year in review, I will let you know. Or maybe I didn't play enough hours, and they're like, "Yeah, she doesn't care."
Maybe. Yeah, you didn't sink 200 hours into
Any one
Elden Ring.
game? I don't think so. I mean, I know I played a lot on my PlayStation. Just don't know. Can't think of what it might be. Um. All right. So, anything else before we shut down the show, Nick?
Um
As a reminder, no show on Christmas Day. Sorry. So it will be dark next week. But we will be back on New Year's Day. So I may very well be hung over or still drunk. Entirely possible. Probably sobering up at that point. I'm the Matt Goalie may be which probably gonna be done. Let's see. I made it on the 16th, 17, 18, 9. Let's see. That's 16th. So it's 7/14. Yeah, we might be alcoholic by then, depending on how warm I keep it. Thank you for the tip on the electric blanket. I think I might do that just to ensure that we have homemade hooch for New Year's Eve. Thank you. No show this week. Thank you for reminding me of that. AC Wraith. So anything else before we shut down the show?
uh just in general, Polygon, the website, has
Mhm.
a lot of like, hey, we're gonna try to predict the next 10 years of things, like series of articles. And they're fun to read. There's some good reads in there.
Mhm. Oh, I did want to point this out that so that you know that I know that it didn't get I didn't miss it, and you should not miss this either. We achieved controlled fusion.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw that.
This is a moment. I'm upset that I'm as old as I am because I may not live to see what this turns into. This is an epoch moment. Fission, motherfuckers, controlled fission. This is the equivalent of the inventing the combustion engine. Now it's up to the engineers to kind of sort out how to use this and make it smaller and more portable and everything. But it if you are in your 20s or 30s, this is the week that changes everything. Everything. And I'm talking about the way you live, that I can say now definitively that the way you live when you are my age will be vastly different than what we have right now. Fission, it's the thing that is used in every science fiction story to propel fucking starships. This is a big moment. So
Yes.
remember this week. Don't let it just pass you by and go, "Oh yeah, that happened. Interesting." No. This is serious big stuff. Big stuff. I can't believe it took 80 years for them to figure it out.
It's fucking hard.
It's really fucking hard, but they did it. And now the hardest part of it is kind of done. Hopefully the hardest part of it is done.
Yeah. I mean, Now the hardest part is like making it consistent and viable and small.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. The physics was figuring out the physics of it, figuring out how to make it happen was the hardest.
Proving that it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the Zephram Cochrane moment. Actually, this is the moment that creates the moment of the Zephram Cochrane warp drive moment. Just saying. This opens up space. This opens up to possibly even galaxies at this point. So, that being said, welcome to
the future.
Beginning of the new world. The beginning of the new age. So AC Wraith is yep, controlled fission is now near is a link to the story if you're not aware of what it was. AC Wraith said, "We proved it. It's not quite viable yet. It's now an engineering problem." Exactly. And there's a lot more engineers than there are nuclear physicists that are working on this shit.
Now we can have the Batman bomb.
Well, we always had the Batman bomb. That's the thing. We've had fission before. The H bomb is fission. It just wasn't controlled. That's what made it a bomb. Now we can control it. It's the difference between making a Molotov cocktail and making a combustion engine with gasoline. It's the same substance, just one is controlled and one isn't. So the energy release was technically roughly half more, but it was only like 1% in total due to the infrastructure. Right. But that's a huge output of energy, especially considering this is waste free. This does not create,
radiation,
hazardous waste,
fallout.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff.
It's not an environmental fucking nightmare. And the one thing that we have a lot of on this planet is fucking hydrogen. A lot of fucking hydrogen. We can do a tiny release, store the energy, and repeat. That's one idea, is don't make it to scale. Just make it a lot and store the energy. That's entirely possible. Anyway, because I mean, what they're probably going to use it to make steam and run steam turbines. That's probably what's going to happen, unless some engineer figures out a more clever way to do it.
Isn't that basically what all nuclear power plants are? Is just steam engines?
Coal power plants are. That's what all power plants in general are, or
something
to heat up water.
All technological advancement is just
heating up water.
It's all just steam engines.
Which makes Iceland seem so amazing. It's like they literally have nothing but hot water. It's like no wonder energy is free there. They've got the hard part free. The earth does it. They said it, and they said perpetual motion was impossible. I mean, it's sort of kind of the same idea in that you're getting more energy out than you're putting in, or you're not losing energy. But yeah. It was not done with hydrogen, unfortunately. That's true. But the fact that you can get half as much out as you put in does kind of make it really viable, even in small amounts, to be able to do it. Yeah, should be possible later, though. We'll see. I mean, it's not even should. It will be possible. It might not be in my lifetime. It probably is going to be in your lifetime. I'm hoping it's in my lifetime, man. I would really fucking love to have a car that I can put a small amount of some solid substance in and then never have to fill it again for a long time. And then just the spent amount, I just can take it out and it doesn't create any, environmental nightmare. Just put it in the garbage can or the recycler. Recycle it out. Anyway, I have now wasted a bunch more time. Thank you for listening. Let me close out the show. Can we close out the show, Nick? Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 663. We recorded this show on Sunday, December 18th, 2022. I'm Edie Sellers, and with me has been Nick DiNicola returning. Thank you for coming back, Nick. If you ever want to get a hold of us, GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. VIDS is in videos. On Twitch, we are the GameHounds. We would love to have you join us. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We will be dark on Christmas Day. We will be here on New Year's Day. So see you then. Now, if you listen to the show as a podcast, we can be found on pretty much every podcast delivery service method. It's GameHounds Podcast. If you're listening wherever you're listening, be it iTunes or Google or Audible or anywhere else, just do me a favor. Leave some feedback. That way it's easier for others to find us. And if you're watching currently on YouTube or Twitch, hit that like button, smash it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That way you can get, and if you're on YouTube, notification bells. That way you know when we go live. We do have a Discord. You can find the Discord on our Facebook page, and I believe it's also on our YouTube page and possibly our Twitch page. I have to figure that out. But we love to have you in the Discord server. Yeah, we talk in there quite frequently, so we'd love to have you there. And yeah, join the Discord. You can also find it on our Facebook page. Our Facebook is the GameHounds on Facebook. And you'd only have to go there for a second and then leave, because fuck Facebook. And I guess that's it. Oh, Patreon. We are 100% patron funded. Thank you so much to our patrons. You guys are awesome. You keep us going. $1 a month is all we ask. It helps us pay for all the services, because everything's a service these days and everything has a subscription fee. And of course, all those subscription fees go up every year. So I cover the differences. But if you want to help me cover the difference, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/GameHounds. We would love to have you subscribe. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Nick. We will talk to you in 2 weeks on New Year's Day. Next time we talk to you, it's going to be a whole new year. See you next year, everyone. Bye. All right, we're out. Nick, everybody in the chat room, thank you for being here. Chunderbox, really good to see you again. And thank you, Mary. That's right, I forgot. We haven't had Christmas yet. You haven't talking about New Year's. Merry fucking Christmas to every single one of you. I hope that Santa brings you everything you ever wanted. Remember to put the audio shows up. The last one on Libsyn is from late November. Yeah, I have to put it's only 2 episodes, because remember I was out for the first week of November. And then I think it's only 2 episodes that we have to do. So yeah. And yeah, Chunderbox, thank you for being here. There was somebody else that I haven't seen a lot of. Who is it? Somebody else, wasn't it? Of course, Chaos is here. And then of course, AC Wraith, who is our link bitch, who puts all the links in there. Bitters, thank you so much for being here again. And anybody else that I missed? I think, is Vice in here? I didn't see Vice, but I could be wrong. Thanks to everybody here. And like I said, I hope Susanna brings you everything that you could possibly want for next year. And let me see, is that it? Yeah, it looks like that. Oh, and of course, Blood Reaper, who, pity poor Blood Reaper. He's having to work in a grocery store over Christmas. But hopefully you'll be getting double time for that. Have a great week, everyone. We will see you next year. Be well, be safe, wear your mask, because I can attest COVID is real. See you later, everyone. Bye.